Welcome. Today we're stepping into some really dark territory, looking at accounts that are genuinely unsettling, stories that kind of stick with you.
They absolutely do. We're talking about events that really push the boundaries of, well, what you think is possible.
Exactly. We'll be exploring the kind of group dynamics that can lead to just horrific cruelty, the mystery behind people vanishing in places you'd least expect, and also some primal fears that still exist out there.
It's about trying to make some sense of these narratives, looking at what drives these events.
Let's start in Manchester, England, early 1990s. This is the story of Suzanne Capper. She was only 16.
A truly awful case. She was killed by people she thought were her friends.
Yeah, the sources describe her as, gentle, maybe a bit easily led. Her parents had divorced, there was some instability, and by 14, she wasn't really going to school, fell in with an older crowd. The leader was Jean Powell, who actually used to babysit her.
Right, and Powell was involved in sort of petty crime, dealing amphetamines, not a good influence.
Her sister tried to warn her, but Suzanne seemed kind of drawn to their, what she perceived as an outlaw lifestyle.
And this is where it starts to shift, doesn't it? She wasn't just with them, she became a target within the group.
That's it. She became the scapegoat, the verbal punching bag, as the sources put it. They blamed her for everything, a missing coat, someone getting lice.
Just anything that went wrong.
Even a bizarre incident where a man mistook the house for a brothel. They blamed her for that too.
It's a pattern of isolation. Her sister said something heartbreaking, that it wasn't that she was scared of them, it's just that she would do anything for them.
That really speaks volumes, that need for acceptance.
It does, and it's often how this kind of extreme group violence starts. You single someone out, you dehumanize them bit by bit.
And it kept escalating. December 1992, things took a truly horrific turn. They told her there was a party at John Powell's house.
But there was no party.
No. She walked in and was basically ambushed. Glenn Pell and Anthony Dudson held her down.
And they shaved her head and her eyebrows with dull clippers, apparently.
Yeah, ripping the hair out, leaving her bleeding. Then they made her clean up her own hair.
Yeah.
It's just profound humiliation.
Absolutely. It's about stripping identity, marking her, showing complete control. It makes the victim feel utterly powerless.
And that was only the start. They blindfolded her. The whole group beat her fists, a broomstick, a belt buckle.
The sources mentioned they were actually laughing while doing it, enjoying her helplessness.
Then they locked her in a cupboard upstairs overnight. No food, no water, and it didn't stop there. It went on for 5 more days.
5 days. And this is where Bernadette McNeely seems to have taken the lead in the torture. It wasn't impulsive, it was sustained, calculated cruelty.
The things they did.
Yeah.
It's hard to even talk about. Tied her to a bed, burned her with cigarettes.
And the dental torture, trying to pull her teeth out with pliers.
They broke some, chipped others, and then finally managed to pull one out. And Bernadette just laughed.
Just pure sadism. And when Suzanne passed out from the pain,
they'd inject her with liquid amphetamine to wake her up again, to prolong it.
Exactly. Keeping her conscious, preventing any escape into unconsciousness.
And the psychological stuff, too. They knew she was terrified of the movie Child's Play.
Why, Chucky.
So they blasted that song, "Hi, I'm Chucky, Wanna Play," through headphones, forcing her to listen while sleep-deprived.
Using her specific fears against her. It's incredibly cruel, very personalized terror, maximum psychological damage.
After 5 days, she was, understandably, in a terrible state, lying in her own waste. So the gang decided to clean her.
Which sounds almost like care, but it was anything but.
They forced her into a bath, scalding hot water mixed with boiling water, bleach, and disinfectant.
A chemical burn, essentially. Horrific.
And then scrubbed her already burned skin with a wire brush.
It's beyond comprehension. It's another form of torture disguised as something else. Total domination.
Then they found out her mother was about to report her missing. That forced their hand.
They realized they needed to get rid of her.
So a week after she'd first been lured there, they forced her into the trunk of a stolen car, drove to this remote lane,
threw her out into some bramble bushes,
poured petrol over her, and set her on fire.
While singing "Burn, Baby, Burn," the accounts say they were laughing.
Just absolute depravity. But here's the thing that's just almost unbelievable. She didn't die. Not right away.
Somehow she survived that.
Yeah. Somehow this girl, head shaved, badly burned, traumatized beyond belief, she managed to get up and stagger towards a nearby road.
It's an incredible display of just the will to live. Astonishing, really, given the injuries.
Around 6:10 a.m., a commuter, Barry Sutcliffe, saw her. He was initially terrified by how she looked, but then realized the horror of the situation.
Understandable. The descriptions are graphic.
A homeowner nearby, Michael Coop, described her hands looking like ash, her legs like raw meat, feet badly charred.
And yet she was coherent.
Yes. Margaret Coop, his wife, noted how polite Suzanne was, despite everything. She couldn't be touched because of the pain, drank 6 glasses of water, she was so dehydrated.
That composure in the face of such agony, it's often a shock response, a survival mechanism, focusing on the immediate need, getting help.
And crucially, at the hospital, despite her horrific injuries, she was conscious long enough to name all 6 of her attackers.
That act, naming them, was incredibly brave and important.
She was burned so badly her parents couldn't recognize her. They identified her from a partial thumbprint. She fell into a coma soon after and died 3 days later.
Just devastating.
And the aftermath. The detective, Peter Wall, said when he arrested Jean Paul and Bernadette McNeely, they were laughing and joking together.
Laughing. Even then, it shows a complete lack of remorse, a total disconnect.
Other officers apparently wept when they learned the full details of what Suzanne endured.
And this connects to what the police psychologist reported, which is really chilling. These weren't monsters in the typical sense. They were deemed absolutely sane.
Ordinary people, not known for serious violence before this.
Ordinary people capable of extraordinary cruelty. So how does that happen?
That's the terrifying question, isn't it?
Well, the sources point towards that process we mentioned, dehumanization. It starts small, the scapegoating, the name-calling. When that goes unchallenged in a group.
It normalizes it.
Exactly. It desensitizes people. Then you get group polarization. The group's actions become more extreme than any one individual might have been capable of alone. People lose their sense of individual responsibility. They just blend into the group's actions. It's called de-individuation.
And they create their own shared reality, however twisted.
Precisely. The laughter during the arrest shows how deep that went. The judge called it as appalling a murder as it is possible to imagine. And it was enabled by that specific group dynamic.
It's a chilling thought. How group pressure can just erase individual morality.
Okay, let's shift gears now. Different kind of story, different kind of fear. Byron Bay, Australia.
Ah, yes, the vanishing backpackers.
Byron Bay, everyone knows it, right? Popular tourist spot, sort of a hippie vibe, attracts lots of young travelers, 18 to 25 mostly, looking for adventure experiences. But beneath that surface, there's this disturbing pattern of disappearances. That contrast is what makes it so unsettling.
Definitely. So May 2019, an 18-year-old Belgian guy, Theo Hayes, arrives. He's described as responsible, sober, kept in regular touch with his parents back home.
Not the type you'd expect to just wander off irresponsibly.
Oh, no. On his last night, he went to a liquor store with friends, then to this backpacker bar, Cheeky Monkeys.
Apparently it has a bit of a reputation.
Yeah, sources call it one of Australia's most violent bars, which is quite a claim.
So Theo, who normally didn't drink much, seemed to get highly intoxicated really quickly after just 2 or 3 drinks.
That's a potential red flag right there. Such a rapid change.
He got escorted out of the bar. His friends checked on him outside. He said he was fine, heading back to the hostel, but he didn't.
He went the completely opposite way.
Exactly. Used Google Maps, but didn't follow its directions to the hostel at all. His phone data shows him walking the wrong way and walking fast.
Almost twice his normal speed, right?
Yeah.
And heading into dense bushland. Dark, difficult terrain. Yeah, pushing through branches, thorns. It sounds less like someone drunk and lost and more like someone, well, moving with purpose or maybe being pursued.
That's the question authorities perhaps initially overlooked. The urgency, the path, it doesn't quite fit the drunk tourist narrative neatly.
His phone's last signal was near Tallow Beach. He never made it back to the hostel, missed his bus, missed his flight. His parents came over, huge search effort, public appeals.
They found his hat, didn't they? A gray puma hat, just like his, in the bushes.
Yes, suggesting it got knocked off while he was moving quickly through there.
So the police initially thought, what? Misadventure, suicide, fell off a cliff while drunk.
Those are the main theories.
Yeah.
But like you said, the speed, the evasiveness, it just feels off.
It does. And when you look at other possibilities, maybe he angered someone at the bar. Someone followed him.
Or his drink was spiked. Maybe with something dissociative that made him disoriented, but still mobile, easier to lead away.
That fits the rapid intoxication and the strange path, potentially. It would make someone vulnerable, controllable.
But the theory that really sends a chill down your spine, the one that connects to this wider pattern, is kidnapping, human trafficking.
And the statistics are stark. Theo is just one of 2,600 long-term missing persons in Australia.
But specifically around Byron Bay.
6 disappearances within a few kilometers since the 80s. Ellen Wilson, Bronwyn Winfield, Margaret Ryan, Jeffrey Neville, Rodney Bradbridge. Just vanished.
No trace. No bodies, no signs of violence.
Nothing, which is part of what makes it so unnerving. If it is an organized group, they're very good at leaving no evidence.
So why is it so hard to investigate these cases in a place like Byron?
Several factors. You've got a constant stream of tourists coming and going. Witnesses are transient. There's maybe a tendency to initially write things off as people just moving on, or, the party town misadventure angle. That delays crucial early steps.
And if it is something more sinister, like trafficking?
Then you're dealing with people who know how to operate unseen, how to dispose of people without a trace. It creates this awful vulnerability, especially for young solo travelers. Paradise with a hidden danger.
A really sobering thought. Okay, for our last story, we're heading somewhere completely different, deep into the backwoods of Tennessee. This one taps into something really primal, almost ancestral.
Ah, the Andersons. This account has a very different feel, much more about localized fear and, territory.
So the narrator, his cousins, a friend, all young guys sneak off with some beer one summer night. They go to this clearing out in the woods, a really remote backwoods area where the narrator's distant family lives.
Already setting a scene of isolation, breaking rules.
Right. And one cousin, Garrett, who brought an old rifle, starts getting really edgy. This whimpering saying, "We shouldn't be here. We have to leave."
That kind of gut feeling that local knowledge may be kicking in, sensing something's wrong.
The mood changes.
Yeah.
He describes huge bugs, the air getting cold. Garrett starts panicking more, yelling, but not at his friends. He's yelling past them at something they can't see.
Directed fear. That's significant.
He picks up the rifle, aims it into the darkness, shouts, "We're leaving now. We don't want any trouble. We didn't mean anything by it."
Trying to de-escalate whatever threat he perceives.
Then, movement in the bushes gets colder. Garrett screams, "Run!"
And gunshots.
3 shots, followed by this horrible scream, an earth-shattering sob, the narrator calls it. He and another guy just bolts, terrified.
Pure flight response.
Garrett catches up a moment later. He's limping, got blood on his clothes, a nasty gash on his leg. And they hear another sob from back in the woods.
So something definitely happened. An encounter, an attack.
They get back to the family house. Garrett just walks in and tells his grandpa, straight up, "There were Andersons out there. I got one, their kid. I need to go to the hospital."
And the reaction?
The whole room, full of angry family members who are mad about the boy sneaking out, just falls dead silent instantly.
That tells you everything about the name Andersons.
So what are the Andersons, according to this account?
Well, it's crucial to understand this is the local perception. The sources describe them as this notorious, isolated, maybe inbred family, fiercely territorial, seen as almost animalistic, savage, more like a gang than a family.
And there was a truce.
An unspoken rule, apparently. The narrator's family doesn't go on Anderson land. The Andersons don't come on theirs. Never hunt on their land, and they'll never hunt on ours.
And the Anderson kids.
Rumored to be feral, destructive, biting. There's even a story about one killing a chicken with its teeth. Again, this is local lore, how they're seen.
Okay, so Garrett trespassed. He was attacked by an Anderson child, and he shot the child.
Exactly. He broke the truce in the most extreme way possible, harming one of their kids.
And the family's reaction?
Immediate understanding of the severity. This meant war, practically. The narrator's immediate family demanded to leave right now. They wanted no part of the fallout.
Wow. So these unwritten rules are incredibly powerful.
Absolutely. In these really isolated places, the sources suggest formal law can take a backseat. It becomes about territory, about these deeply ingrained us versus them boundaries. Break the rules, and the consequences are immediate, potentially deadly. The fear is real.
It's like a throwback to a different time almost.
Yeah. In a way, yes. It highlights how thin that veneer of civilization can be sometimes, and the power of these localized, almost tribal codes of conduct. The rifle and the truce mean more than the police out there.
So, from the calculated cruelty within a group in Manchester, to those unnerving disappearances in Byron Bay, and now this primal fear in the Tennessee woods. We've covered some really dark ground.
Very different situations, but all highlighting unsettling aspects of human behavior and the unknown. Depravity, mystery, raw fear.
These stories, they remind you, don't they, about the potential for darkness, the things that defy easy answers, the fears that linger just under the surface of normal life.
They certainly do.
So what's the takeaway for you listening? Maybe it's just a reminder to stay aware, to look a little closer sometimes, to acknowledge that horrifying things can and do happen. What unseen things might be waiting just around the corner?
It's about not taking safety for granted, perhaps, and understanding the complexities, the darkness that can exist.
If these deep dives into the unsettling grip you, please do like, share, and subscribe to Horror Docx. We've got more explorations into the shadows coming up.
Your support helps us keep bringing these stories and analyses to light.
Until next time, stay safe out there and keep your eyes open.